Hello.
Hello? Hello? Is it...
Hello.
Hello?
You don't normally have a hard time getting started here. What happened? I feel like there was I'm confused.
I'm confused also. You just said hello. I thought you were going to say hello, how are you? And I was waiting for the rest and it never came.
Oh. Okay, well, how are you?
You don't really care. We're moving on.
But no, I do care. I mean, at least, for the purposes of our podcast, I care.
You care when there's an audience listening and judging.
Yes.
You know what?
To such a degree. Yes.
I'm fine.
How are you?
No, I'm fine. That's it. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm actually also fine. I wouldn't say I'm great. I wouldn't say I'm bad. I would just say I'm here. I'm definitely here. I am recording with you, which is delightful. It's sunny, which is great. However, I'm waiting on lots and lots of things, and I am impatient with all of the waiting. That's how I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But seriously,
That's
how
fair.
are you?
You know what? Fine is actually a true answer. I'm currently at the beach house doing a lot of painting and, fixing little dings in the walls and patching and painting and patching and painting and patching and painting, and then moving furniture to patch and paint some more. So it's going well, but it's just a long, tedious process. So the fact that I can take a break, sit down and record is just lovely.
That makes sense. I do not like painting at all. It is just one of those things that it's a slow, detailed-oriented job, which is just not my forte at all.
Yeah. It was going a lot better when Shelly was here with me, but now she's had to go back into town and she'll be back in a couple of days. And so now I've just got to press on by myself and meh.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for today because we have taken a more lighthearted approach to the holidays, and I want to continue to have a little fun, but amidst the fun, because neither of us are doing particularly great today. Not bad, just not particularly great. I would like to talk about some of the not particularly great things about Christmas. Like just a good old-fashioned vent session.
I gotta tell you, I will happily vent. Yes.
Okay. Good. Good.
Just yes.
And so I got some things on my mind, like holiday blend coffee.
Oh.
This is either the best tasting stuff on the planet, and you can only get it for a month and a half, or it's the most vile thing you have ever tasted. There is no in between with holiday blend coffee. None whatsoever. And it's kind of like a little gamble every single time. You're like, yeah, I'll try the holiday blend. And am I going to throw this in the trash? Or am I going to wish you would sell it all year long?
Wait. So are you saying that the holiday blend, it's not that the holiday blend as a thing is definitely in one of those two categories. You're saying some places it's the best thing in the world and you wish you could have it all the time. And other places it's horrible and you wish it had never existed?
Yes, exactly.
Oh.
And you never know what you're going to get. And so you're like, I don't know. Do I take a chance? Do I try the holiday blend or not?
All right. Yes. No, this makes sense to me. I am not a coffee guy, but I was going to put on my list of things, but I didn't jot it down. But eggnog was I think is in this same category for me.
Yes, it is. Yes. Eggnog is either like delicious or trash.
Yes. And good eggnog is awesome. Not all eggnog is good eggnog. But why can't we have good eggnog all the time? It's a cold drink. It feels like a thing you should be having in the middle of the summer. It's like ice cream in a cup.
Yes. Yes, this is so true. I love eggnog and would happily drink it in the summer.
And I genuinely don't understand what's inherently Christmassy I think it's about the exact right consistency. Have you ever refilled a soft serve machine?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's the same consistency as like soft serve before it is frozen. There's just what is Christmassy about it? I don't understand.
You're making me want to put eggnog in a soft serve machine and see what happens.
I know, me too now. Uh,
That sounds
if
awesome.
anybody is listening to this and has access to a soft serve machine this Christmas, you have an assignment.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Ah, that sounds amazing. Okay, my gripe is that I can't eat that right now.
I know that would be so good. Soft serve eggnog flavored ice cream. Yes, please.
With a really good holiday blend coffee to chase it down. That would be awesome.
Yeah, so I have this question for you. To your recollection, are there specific places that definitely do a good job that we should be checking out this holiday season while we have such a limited amount of time?
Ooh. No, and I don't know why, but I feel like the holiday blend changes every year. And maybe I'm just confusing
Huh.
that. There's like a out here in the Oregon area, there is a beer distributor that does what they call Jubilale, and it's a new recipe every single year, and so it's always a topic of conversation out in public. Like, have you tried this year's Jubilale? And so I've just assumed that the same thing carries over to coffee, and that everybody's holiday blend is different every year. So I guess I don't have enough experience to A, know if it changes every year, or B, who the good ones are, because I just don't always take a chance on the holiday blend.
Oh, that makes sense. But you saying all of this somehow has given me a suspicion about how it comes to be that there are places that have good holiday blend and other places that don't. Would you like to hear my theory about this and you tell me what you think?
Of course I would.
Okay, here's my theory. Let's pretend what's a good coffee company? I don't drink coffees, but what's a good coffee place that's maybe fairly well known?
Out here we have Long Bottom Coffee. Long Bottom is a good coffee. I don't know if that goes across the
That's
country.
perfect. Let's just take that. Let's say this year, Longbottom makes a great Christmas roast. My hypothesis is that they make too much. And when they don't sell it all, they wholesale it over to like the next step down, whatever that is, like Starbucks or whatever. And then they have that next year. And so their Christmas coffee isn't as good because it's a year old. And then they don't sell all of it. And so then they sell it to like the gas station. And so then they have really bad Christmas coffee because it's like 2 years old. And that that's my working theory. What do you think?
um, yeah, I'm with you with the gas station coffee. Though it makes me think I have a coworker who actually comes in to work with a gas station coffee every day because he swears it is like the best coffee he can get. And I think he's nuts, but whatever. Um, I don't think your theory holds water at all, but it's entertaining.
I'm going to assume I'm right.
Okay.
All right. So you're annoyed with Christmas coffee. I'm annoyed with eggnog. What else is on your list?
Okay, so this is at the end of Christmas, but when you take down Christmas decorations, why is it that you inevitably leave at least one little thing behind? There is literally a door in our house that has a stuffed moose holding a sign that has been wishing us a Merry Christmas for 3 straight years now. It's part of the decor. We don't even notice that it's there anymore. It just stays up year round because we forget about it.
No, you're absolutely right. No, this is so all of my Christmas decor goes up in the sort of top level of my shed. So in January, when it's cold and icy, I like bundle up and I'm lugging plastic crates out to my shed. And of course, I've got to put them behind the Thanksgiving stuff. So I have to take all the Thanksgiving stuff off the shelves, put this stuff in, then put the Thanksgiving stuff on. Then you're exactly right. Then I walk back in the house and there is this one nutcracker
Yeah.
or this one house that lights up or whatever. And it's just like, what is happening right now? And I'll
Yeah.
tell you, I would rather throw the thing away than have to go through that again. It is
100%.
not going in the plastic tub.
Yeah, that's why the moose just stays. I'm not taking the moose down. It just, you've earned a permanent spot, buddy. Well done with the hide and seek championship.
Oh man. Yep, exactly. No, I'm 100% with you. 100%.
All right. Gripe away, sir. What's on your mind?
All right. You know what? I really just, every year it annoys me. Wrapping paper.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
but have you thought this through? We go out and buy the most expensive paper product that we are ever going to buy in our entire lives. And then we put it around things so that within 24 to 48 hours, other people can tear it away from things so that we can throw it away.
Okay, so you're just
That doesn't make sense.
well, so I agree with you, but this I don't think you're old enough to make this kind of gripe. Like I think this makes you 70 plus at least. I thought you were going to say that like you can't keep a roll nice year to year and then like no matter what storage system, like the ends get
I
all
just think
dinged
the whole
up.
thing is, I think that there's like in the shadows of Christmas somewhere, there is like big wrapping paper suckering us all into buying their useless products. That's what I think.
It's the wrapping paper conspiracy.
It is. It's the wrapping paper conglomerate that is like sneaking us into wasting hundreds of thousands of square yards of very pretty paper every single year.
Okay, so I don't think it's just the wrapping paper conglomerate. I think the wrapping paper conglomerate is in league with the Christmas light industry because the same Christmas lights that you put on your tree every year, for some reason they light up on, January 1st. You put them in a box, 11 months later, bam, they don't work anymore. And you have to buy a new strand every single year. And it's just maddening. Can we not just make lights that work year in and year out?
100%. And maybe this is just me. I am convinced that sometimes it even works when I test plug it in and then you get it on the tree or on the house or wherever you're putting it. And magically it has stopped working in the 10 minutes since you tested it.
Oh, yeah.
That's even 100%. Worse.
Yes.
And
yes.
This happens to me every single year. This is actually on my list. I think we have uniquely designed Christmas lights to magically break and be magically tangled.
Yes. Yes.
How anything could get as tangled as Christmas lights get. Again, as you say, they're just sitting in a box.
Right. Well, and it doesn't even matter what storage system I come up with, right? Like I see all these, 5-minute craft tutorials where they're like, oh, this is a great idea. Do this. Okay, whatever. I must be just failing at everything because I'll try all the different storage techniques and it still comes out tangled and they don't work or half the strand lights up or I got to find the missing bulb or something. I don't know. It's horrible. The number of times I say, Merry Christmas to you too, China, is pretty unbelievable.
Yep. If somebody wants to invent Christmas lights that don't tangle, I would happily, if something was 10 years of working lights, I would absolutely 100% pay lots of extra money for that.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, if they had a lifetime guarantee on them, sold.
100%. And just to throw this in there, The system that we follow in order to figure out which of the lights is broken and you have to replace the one little light bulb on the strand
Yes.
doesn't
Right.
work. No, like it's insane.
Yeah.
Last year, I had the little extra lights in the little packet. And first of all, I had two packets of extra lights. Neither of them were the right kind of Christmas strand light. So
Right.
I don't know what that's about. Why do we need three different styles of light bulb that go into Christmas lights?
Yeah.
Then
Or
I finally find one that does work, and I must have replaced like 20 of them. And I couldn't find the one that
yes.
works, despite the fact that it is clearly a wildly simple system.
Yeah. Or you grab the one bulb that accidentally makes the whole strand the flashy strand, and now you're like, oh, great. Not my thing. But I will say this. I do like going and looking at Christmas lights and driving around. Like that is a fun holiday tradition for us. But the thing I don't like about it, and to continue the gripe session a bit here, is we have to have two miracles occur at the exact same time in order for us to go looking at Christmas lights. One, we have to find a night of the week where nobody's doing anything, right? Nobody
Mm.
is like got a church engagement. Nobody's working. Nobody's going to be off with a friend, right? Everybody's at home. So we finally find the magic night. And then on this magic night, the weather has to cooperate so that we can actually see out the window when we're looking at the Christmas lights. And having these two miracles occur at the same time is very, very rare.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. I've thought about the difficulty of like a California warm Christmas, but I had not thought about the difficulty of an Oregon rainy Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. Because like it's just coming down in sheets and you can't see out the windshield or side windows, not at all. You got to roll down and get the spray in your face, or I don't know. So it's a thing.
Well, you know what we could do when my family goes Christmas light watching this year? I could have both kids call your family on a video call, one out each side of the car, and you guys could sit at home and comfortably just watch from the pleasure of your living room while drinking hot chocolate and watch the lights here in Missouri. I'm
That
sure it would be
sounds like
exactly the same.
drinking last year's coffee beans.
Yeah, there are probably people with better cameras that have done that on YouTube, and it probably isn't that fun to watch. But
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah, here's my next one. Why did we start Christmas the day after Halloween this year?
I think, and every year,
See, I feel like maybe, I mean, we always gripe about the fact that it gets earlier every year, but literally it was the day after Halloween this year.
mm,
Everything was up in Walmart, everything was up in Target, everything was up around like I live near one of the original Bass Pro stores, everything was up there. Why did we skip fall? Like, where is the Thanksgiving season? The like cute turkeys and all of those like, so we're gonna, that as far as I can tell, that means all of November is Christmas, all of December is Christmas. We aren't going to kill Christmas on the 26th of December, which means all the way into January. That's a full quarter of the year was Christmas season this year.
yeah, yeah,
I'm sorry, that's too much. It's too much.
it is way too much. But while we're talking about stores, though, can I just ask why in the world does the cinnamon in the stores have to smell so dang good? I mean, my house does not smell that good. And so why do they have to show me up every single year? And I get in there and I'm like, oh, I love this smell. How come I don't do this at home? And so I get back home and I completely forget that I wanted my house to smell that good. And so I don't install the industrial Christmas smell generator and, go on. Like, why do they have to show me
And I
up?
tell you what, even if you do, I have tried. I buy the candles, I do whatever. It doesn't smell as good at your house.
Yeah, right.
I mean, no matter what they do, in those stores, they are not combating the profound odoriferous pressure of teenagers in a constricted space. I just don't know that they're doing the same thing I'm trying to do.
Profound odoriferous pressure. You literally just said that term. I just want to take a moment and soak in the amazing words that you just said.
I am pretty impressed with myself as well. So feel free. I mean, I'm just saying I agree with you. That's all I'm saying.
There needs to be a t-shirt for teenagers that says, I create profound odoriferous pressure.
Oh, or at least a pin. I want to give every teenager a bumper sticker.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Stay back because
Stay back 100 feet. So good.
oh man. All right. Okay. I also want to say that I think Santa is creepy. And I'm not sure why it's okay.
Okay, why is Santa creepy?
At what point did we decide it was okay for an old man to have a bunch of kids sitting on his lap like that?
Oh, now you did make it creepy.
It is. No. I mean, everything about it. I mean, think about the old stereotypes in like 90s movies where these are like clearly old alcoholic men who are dressing up. But I know that that's probably not true in many cases. So I'm not stereotyping Santas. I'm just saying, even then we knew there's something wrong here. I'm just saying it's weird. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. And all these little people are following him around, helping him out.
Okay, I think you made it weird, but it is now weird. Like you can't unhear this. It's caused profound weird pressure.
Yeah, I think it's weird, but okay, what about for you? What else what do you want to gripe about for Christmas?
Well, this is something that I struggle with all year long. We have a storage area of our home that is set aside specifically for housing the perfect boxes. And we have them all year long. And then most of the time, when we go to wrap gifts, it came in its own box. We don't need the perfect boxes that we stored all year long.
Oh, it's so true. Yes. How often do you buy something that doesn't already come in a package?
Yes. Or you bought something so weird and so misshaped that you're like, I don't need the perfect box. I need the weirdest box I can possibly find. And I didn't keep any of those. So
this is where, coming back to my Christmas wrapping paper problem, my in-laws, and particularly my mother-in-law, years and years ago, she bought a bunch of Christmas fabric and she made a bunch of varying shaped and sized Christmas bags that are drawstring bags. So every year there's no wrapping. You just go grab the bags that fit the things that you need to put things like that fit the presents you're quote unquote wrapping. You put them in the bag, you pull the drawstring, you're done.
This is brilliant.
Genius. It's genius. And I love it. And it fits any present of any size. It's a great system.
This is a great system.
It's a great system. And simple bags are not hard to sew. I mean, not like I could sew them. I can't sew, frankly, anything. But conceptually, I suspect it was not the hardest thing that's ever been sewn. And
sure.
They've had them for 20 years.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Well, so far in this episode, I have realized that I want drawstring bags to wrap gifts in, and I want soft serve eggnog. That's what I've learned today.
Yeah. I knew griping was meaningful. I
I
knew
tell you
it.
what, I do enough griping in real life that I just want it to be meaningful. So this is great. This is great.
All right. I've I've got two more.
All right.
One, this is a little serious. I just am tired, and I don't know that it's imposed on me from without, but for whatever reason, I always feel some kind of spiritual pressure around Christmas. Like this has to be spiritually significant somehow, or
Mm,
I've got to make this mean something. And man, you try to do that year after year, and nothing is worse than manufacturing a spiritually profound moment in your life.
yes. Yeah. And I think this is why we have certain, I don't know, practices. I was going to say rituals, but practices or traditions, right? These are the things that bring meaning. For us, going to church on Christmas Eve it's not negotiable. That's what we're doing. And it's part of what makes Christmas spiritually significant for us. But we do a
Mm.
bunch of other things at the Christmas season that aren't as meaningful, right? Going and looking at Christmas lights. This is not spiritually
Well, that's not
significant.
meaningful because it goes so badly.
Okay, right. Yeah, fair enough. But, we have 1,000 other things like our annual gingerbread house making party. We don't intend that to be
Mm.
spiritual. We don't you just build gingerbread houses, sometimes very poorly. But whatever. And it's just fun to hang out and get together with people. We don't, make a Bible study out of it or, make sure we dedicate one to baby Jesus or something. Like it's just fun. But yeah, you're right. So many things, like there's just this pressure to make everything so spiritual when most of our traditions don't necessarily have that component to it. And so then it's like, oh, well, maybe we just got to adapt our traditions or something. I don't know. It's tough.
No, exactly. And so, my solve for this is this year, I am just going to try to make Christmas meaningless again. Um, that's that's my goal.
That is
Um,
what we're doing on this podcast for sure. We're
but
just okay. All right. Well, after making Christmas meaningless, what else would you like to gripe about?
well, are you out? Because I've got one more, but that last one was mine. I was griping about spiritual pressure.
Okay, so well, I mean, I I don't like Christmas music. And no, this is not a surprise. I've mentioned this on the podcast before. I hate Christmas music, but I'm not actually going to gripe today about Christmas music. I'm going to gripe about the results of being a person who doesn't like Christmas music. And there are two things that stink about this experience. One is everybody calls you a Grinch. It's like 1,000 times per Christmas that people call you a Grinch for not liking Christmas music. I'm sorry that you
Mhm.
like trash music, but I don't. And why am I the bad guy here? So there's that. But then you have this experience where you're like, oh, shoot, I actually like this Christmas song. And you're like, oh, how do I enjoy this without like letting other people know that I'm enjoying this because I don't like Christmas music, but this doesn't fit into that category for me. Like I actually like this song. And then, then the inevitable, like, oh, sure, you'll listen to some Christmas music, or I caught you, you'll enjoy Christmas music. And you're like, oh my gosh, it's just this song, guys. These are the travails of being a man who does not like Christmas music.
I deeply respect that. Um, I do. I am 100% with you. I am not a big Christmas music fan, and I'm actually going to a Christmas music concert this year, and because there is a band or a group of musicians that I like that are doing a Christmas tour, and I think it's going to be fun. But yes, I feel the same way. I feel like I'm like forced into somehow having to hide the fact that I'm going to a Christmas thing because otherwise people will think I like all Christmas music and I've just been faking it all this time. And I assure you, that is not the case.
Right. Yes, exactly. But I do appreciate those artists that go out of their way to make quality Christmas music. I don't think most of it is quality. And so when people actually put some effort into it and make a quality song, I'm like, this is great. Thank you. Thank you for doing what all of these other people neglected to do.
Yeah, exactly. Or even perform, like, so the group we're going to see, it's a group that won. Do you ever watch The Voice?
I know what it is.
It is okay. So there was a trio that won The Voice. They do amazing vocal harmonies. So they're going to take some Christmas songs and make them beautiful because they're going to sing them well.
Hmm.
And I'm all for that. Some of those songs are great songs if they're sung well. It's just that picking it out because it's Christmas time and everybody under the sun doing some version of this song means that for every good version of it, there's 9 dumb versions of it.
Yeah.
Like, and we're going to put that on rotation. And here's my last one, and it's on this topic.
Okay.
So it's funny that we both saved these to here, but why on earth have we decided that Christmas music should be melancholy? I know
Oh,
I've mentioned
yeah.
this before on the podcast, but have yourself a merry little Christmas. I'll be home for Christmas. Christmas songs are so often this sort of sad, melancholy, the world has not lived up to my expectations kind
Okay.
of.
So it is, or
Ugh.
it is mindlessly happy. Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Or have a holly jolly Christmas. Really? I mean, it's so sing-songy happy. It's not even like based in anything concrete. It's, have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the
yes,
year.
you know what it is? Christmas songs, the little tiny box of Crayola crayons that only has like 5 crayons in it?
Yeah.
Christmas songs emotionally color with the tiny little box of crayons.
Yes. Yes.
And every one of the songs, I'm just like, what is happening right now? Like, and frankly, for those of us who are fairly empathic, which I am, like I'm a very empathic person. And so
Oh, we feel
when
that in
song
today's
number,
episode.
yes, thank you for being so empathic. Um, but when song number 1 is perky and chirpy and high, and song number 2 is like an emotional crash, and then song number 3 is back up in the heights again, and then song number 4 is crashing again, I want to jump out of the car.
Yeah. Well, there's all of that. And then for me, it's Christmas has a lot of significance, right? Spiritually speaking, Christmas is one of the greatest days of the year that we celebrate. And we're either
Without
doing
wanting to
it
put any pressure on it.
right. No, exactly. But like genuinely speaking, there is a
Yeah.
lot there. And we either are melancholy because we can't see family at the holidays or something like that, or we're mindlessly happy because it's the greatest time of the year. And neither of them, I think, strike the right note. And so it just grates on me.
Yeah. Nope. I'm 100% with you. And that's why we at On the Phone with Josh are excited to be releasing our Christmas album this year. For those of you who want nuance in your Christmas, you can joyfully and sadly all at the same time listen to this little album, and it'll carry you through the holidays.
I don't even know what our tracks would be.
Have an adequate Christmas.
And in case you need to gripe.
I'll be in the same place I've been for quite a while for Christmas. You can count on me just as much as you have throughout the rest of the year.
I think we desperately need to end this episode.
All right. Well, As we gear shift away from our gripes, we would love to create a safe space in the middle of social media because none of you have ever griped on social media before. And so we want to give you this opportunity to gripe about Christmas on social media. So please
Yeah.
feel free to post on any of our posts from this week, anything it is that you think is just a little kooky about Christmas. But seriously, we would love to hear from you. As you are listening to our things, what is it that irks you? We're not trying to really gripe here. It's just, one of the ways that we can get through the holidays is to just laugh at ourselves and our little traditions and the way things work just a little bit more. Because there's nothing wrong with taking ourselves and this time of year just a little bit less seriously. So share your thoughts. We would love to hear them. And with that in mind, Josh from Oregon, what else have you been thinking about this week?
Well, before I share, I actually want to also ask the audience what else should be on our Christmas album because we're just trying to round it out a little bit. But yeah, well, I've been thinking a lot about my sermon. I'm preaching this coming Sunday, but more than just like thinking about my sermon, I've been thinking the community in which I'm going to be preaching just had like a major development in their town and kind of a big news story. And it's really gotten a lot of people in the town riled up. And I'm thinking about like, wow, how do I walk into this situation? And what's the right thing? Did God providentially give me a message that applies to this moment? Or is this a moment where, I need to step back and just let something else happen? So I'm actually really eager to hear from the pastor of the church where I'm going to be preaching and see what he thinks. I'm very happy to be bumped back a week if that's something that he finds helpful. He already has the manuscript of my sermon, so he knows what I'm going to be preaching on if I do it this week. So I don't know. I guess I'm thinking about my sermon, but then I'm thinking about it in the context of this community and their unique needs in this moment. And it's a very, uncomfortable place to be, if you will, or tentative place to be. So yeah, I don't even know what to say. That's just that's where my head's at.
Man, I totally get that. It is complicated to know in any situation that is involving the whole community. It is very complicated to know to what degree it needs to be addressed and how it should be addressed from the pulpit. And that is doubly complicated when you're not actually the pastor.
Right.
That's really complicated.
It is. And, on the one hand, I want to show up and do what God has for this moment. And on the other hand, like, I don't have to do anything. Like I could, like literally, it's okay. You can do your own thing this week or something. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of glad that I'm not the senior pastor having to decide how to move forward this week because it's a little complicated.
That makes a ton of sense. And this is Dean, right?
It is Dean. Yes, the famous Dean. Exactly.
Who, just so that the audience knows, we recently got a guest request that Dean join us on an episode of the podcast because there is a groundswell of belief that he doesn't actually exist.
Which is hilarious to me because, yes, we've referenced Dean so many times on this episode or on this podcast, but you have met Dean. You have met Dean on a video chat. You can vouch for the fact that this guy exists. And yet
I can vouch for the fact that I met a person who claimed to be Dean. Whether or not it was the real Dean, I mean, I didn't exactly ask for ID or anything. So you could have been just paying an actor. I don't know.
Well, then how, if we have him on the podcast, how does that change anything? Like we could
Nothing.
just have
I'm not the person who wants to prove it. That was another very avid fan. Not me. I am
Okay.
confident he exists.
This
I take it as an article of faith, personally.
Okay, so this is the stuff of conspiracy theories. Like, how am I supposed to prove that Dean exists? Like, that just, I can't do that. Like, you even met the guy on a video chat and you're saying, well, I don't know. You're leaving me out to dry.
No, I get it. I get it. It's the old joke. One character in a book says to another character, "There's a lot going on we don't know about." And the other character says, "Oh, stop saying such stupid things. You tell me one thing that's going on that you don't know about." Um,
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
and that about covers my struggle with talking to people who believe in conspiracy theories.
Yes, yes. Wow, we have gone from Christmas gripes to conspiracy theories. Can you resurrect this episode in any way? Do you have a good thought to talk about?
I do have a thought. I don't know if it can do all of that, but I've been thinking a lot about the idea of apologetics this last week. It's not a thing I think about too often, and I often very narrowly think of apologetics as debating people who don't believe what I believe in order to wrangle them intellectually into assenting to what I want them to assent to.
Yes, yes.
Right? But I was reading in First Timothy this week, and I happened to have apologetics on my mind, and I caught this one comment that Paul says to Timothy about teaching in general, and particularly teaching in the realm of helping people distinguish the truth from falsehood on a cultural level. Because that's a lot of what First Timothy is written about. Is Timothy is being called by Paul to lead his church to be able to hold on to the truth in the context of lots of competing worldviews. And he says this one thing early on in the book that I thought was really beautiful. He says, "The aim of our charge is love that issues from a pure heart and a good conscience and a sincere faith." And I am just deeply struck that when we are talking to people who do not believe what we believe, and when we are most passionate about defending what we believe to an unbelieving world, we will be most successful when we recognize that the aim of our charge is love that issues from a pure heart and a good conscience and a sincere faith.
Yeah. Yes, I completely agree.
Good, because it's in the Bible. You have to.
Dang it. Now I don't want to.
It's okay. That's your sinful nature rearing up. It's why it's a gift, not a law. But all right, there's our one solid thought for the week. But are you ready for us to end as we always do with a Which Josh question?
Oh, yes. Bring it on.
All right, here it is. Which Josh has not yet gotten in trouble for yelling at a coworker?
Okay, so this is totally me, and this is hysterical. So there's a coworker that often comes up to the supervisor's pod at the 911 center, and it's me and my pod partner, just the two supervisors on duty at the time. And we always work together. And so this employee will come up and will ask us, "Can I go home now?" And my pod partner always answers, "Only if I can go with you." And I always answer, "No." And it's been kind of a joke. And so this employee will look at me and say, "You say no, but what you really are saying is sit down, shut up, and do your job." And so they have said this so many times that they just expect me to now say to them, "Sit down, shut up, and do your job." And it's kind of a joke. until I say it from across the room. Hey, so-and-so, sit down, shut up, and do your job. And that communicates to us, but to everyone else, that looks very, very abrupt. So we have to explain the situation a little bit when that gets said a little too loudly. So far, I've not gotten in trouble for yelling at this coworker, but I think the day's coming.
Yeah, I could see how that could be a problem.
Yeah. But it is rather enjoyable to see the look of shock on people's faces when they're like, did you just say that to her? Yeah, I did. So there you go.
That's awesome. I love it. Well, hey, are we on to keep talking next week?
Let's do it.
All right. I'll talk to you then.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.